Came in on the end of that.
A couple of seconds earlier, it would have been great.
I can't wait to
trust
listen to this
Karem.
back.
He'll cut that out.
Yeah, no, don't cut it out, Karem. Because then people would be like, what the fuck was that? We need to hear about this.
Yeah, well, it was. So
No,
don't worry about it.
we're not going to get into
Right,
that.
yeah.
That needs to be its own bonus podcast.
So this is our Thanksgiving podcast.
It is our Thanksgiving
Happy
podcast.
Thanksgiving,
And look
by
who
the way.
it bloody well is it? It's
Charles.
Charlie.
Hi. You're
Have
right.
you been? What have you been up to recently?
I've been a busy
I know
boy.
you've been in a comic book store today. You
Yep.
said you've been in a comic book store.
Talking to people.
80 quid's
Yeah,
worth of comic books.
Making friends.
Talking to the humans,
Yeah,
the peoples.
Do comic books ever talk about it being Christmas? Like, is there a Batman Christmas? Or is it never just brought up?
Occasionally.
Yeah, there's a
Occasionally they
Christmas.
do, yeah.
I mean,
And
in
they
the
give a
animated
moral
series,
story.
didn't they? Christmas with the Joker wasn't that like the one of the really early in the Batman animated
Series.
because I think the first episode was the Man Bat one, but I'm sure really early on they just had a Christmas with the Joker episode.
Oh, when he was going up and down on a big float thing, spreading all the gas.
So yeah, probably.
I've
That's
been
what-
watching
hold on, we haven't.
I've been watching it on Amazon recently, and yeah, it's good.
Other corporate mega companies are available.
Well, it's good to have you back on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Thanks. It's nice to be here.
You haven't been here for
talking
ages,
about
have you?
Thanksgiving, we
Feels like-
just had some lovely cakes. We
Which
should
is
probably
gorgeous.
give Thanksgiving
Well,
to
we
that.
should give Thanksgiving to the cake.
Mrs. Isaac has cooked us some lovely cakes.
That's our producer's wife.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, that's a
They were
Thanksgiving.
really
That
nice.
was
We gave thanks for Charles being back. That's what
And
we've given
for
thanks
cake.
for.
And for cakes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and Karem's at his bit finally.
Has he finally eaten?
I've
it?
never seen a man put down a cake 3 times. That just goes in one bite, mate.
Yeah, no, it was very nice.
It
It was
was impressive.
it was a cheesecake, wasn't it? Is that right? Biscoff cheesecake.
Oh, lovely. So Thanksgiving. Well, first thing, what does Thanksgiving mean? I don't know what it means.
So Thanksgiving.
Charles, do you want to? Who's?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yes.
let's let Charles do it. I was going to go on,
He's
but
been
let's Charles.
researching.
Oh, no, sorry.
I have been doing research. Wikipedia is a font of knowledge.
Wikipedia.
What did I say? Okay.
You said Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's pretty wicked, man.
On the
Yeah.
street, that's what they
geez,
call
Yeah,
it.
it's pretty wicked. It's
I
got-
wasn't sure if you were being like a preacher, just like, and this Wikipedia, it's Wikipedia.
It's great. Anyone can add to it, and guess what? It's kind of working out, kind of.
I know the serfs are writing their own history.
So the history of go.
Okay, the history of Thanksgiving
Yes.
is a long and complicated thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always joked and called it secular Christmas in that it seemed to be a civic holiday with all the trappings of Christmas,
Right.
i.e. family occasion,
Yeah.
bank holiday, public holiday, turkey, everyone
I mean, it
gets
rivals
around.
Christmas in America, doesn't it?
Well, it's very close to Christmas.
Yeah.
In the Christmas season, it has all the trappings of Christmas. Every family come together. Everyone gets a bit drunk and argues about politics, and everyone falls out a bit, and then loathes seeing each other the next year. That's it, just like Christmas. But actually, it has
That
its,
was an insight, wasn't
it
there?
has its roots in Christian festivals and in sporadic Thanksgiving festivals throughout the late 16th and early 17th century.
Not that far back, surely. In America?
Yeah, Protestantism. These are sort of Protestant
Oh, okay.
festivals, basically. And particularly, it's connected sort of to Harvest Festival in this country.
Oh, yeah, I
which
remember
is-
that.
Yeah.
Bringing beans in.
Yeah, bringing beans
I think
in.
I stole an orange at Harvest Festival once.
Of course you did.
I wasn't getting much food at home. What do you expect?
I suppose in a way it should go to the needy.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Me.
Did you ask for it first? Or
Of course I didn't.
Did you ask for it and then steal it because they said no? Or did you
I
just
think I stole
outright
more
stole?
than an orange. But let's
Oh,
go on before
God,
the story
here
gets
we go.
worse.
Yeah, this is like...
I was hungry, mate. Go on.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's
I was on dinner tickets at school, by the way. We had this
We
one
talked
before,
about this before
when I
yeah.
stood in the...
While you were away, we talked about dinner. I didn't realise that this was... So, Theo, if you want to explain the dinner ticket thing to Charles, because this is...
Yeah,
what's
if you were
horrifying.
poor at school, you didn't get to stand in the line where you paid. You were given like dinner ticket. You had to go to the dinner lady. She'd hand you these reel of tickets out, but then you'd get served first.
like a raffle.
But it made it worse because like 500 kids in one queue and 4 in the other.
Oh,
But isn't that appalling made to be in a different queue?
Yes.
Like, that was the thing.
Yes,
at the
it's
time,
singling
because
people out.
Yeah, because when I went to school, I remember people having like there was a thing of like, oh, they're the kids on, and it wasn't really a
Yeah,
source
I
of
was
scorn
one of them,
because
there's one.
there were so many. There wasn't like, oh, they're the 3 kids. It was a load of, it was almost like hey, I get a free lunch. Basically, it was kind of almost a bragging rights. But they were just in the queue. You wouldn't know,
Yeah.
but they just happened.
Oh no, we
People-
went first, and that's to try and help the
That's
situation.
horrifying. That is.
I used to
not
sell
thought
them
through.
though to make money. So
we just, I mean, boarding school, they just gave us food.
Yeah, the butler just went and got it for you.
No, they just gave us slop. It wasn't particularly
Yeah.
nice. It was all steamed, so it looked nice, but didn't have any taste.
Oh, really? I kind of figured, you're very sort of I always thought you'd be going, getting foie gras at your boarding school. And
No, but they're all a bit ropey.
What happened to those mashed potato things that used to be ice cream scoopers with the mashed potatoes at school? Did they? You always got two. You turned it over and you did the ice cream scoopers thing, and the mashed potato fell out. You must know what I'm talking about. 2 lumps of potato. You scoop it with the ice cream scooper and you do that.
No.
You not ever heard? You must have had that at school.
No, they just had like a ladle.
Maybe they're mocking.
Scoop with.
Or maybe it was my school then.
Yeah. You seem to have gone to a school from like a horrid Dickensian.
Well, I was
novel
put in
where
the
kid-
stupid class because I was dyslexic and they didn't know I was, so I just couldn't do the work. So they put me in a room where I can't mention what the girl used to do, but one of the
I beg your
boys,
pardon,
one of
no,
the,
okay.
that
so
was
we was
fun.
in the dances class for maths
Right,
and
yeah.
English. It was
Yeah.
special needs sort of
Right,
thing, and I
yeah.
was in there, and I was
Yeah.
in there with a kid that kept setting fire to everything, including you.
Nice.
And there was another kid who would sniff polo mints, like chop them up in front of me.
Oh, what, snort them?
Yeah, I think obviously now he must have been seeing it at home, and he just saw white.
Oh God, that's horrid, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
true.
just
Like
remember
getting a
his
little spoon and burning it up and
yeah, he wasn't jacking up. He was only about 13.
tubing off.
But yeah, and then there was a kid that obviously had like cerebral palsy or something. And then me sat there, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here.
No one explained to you saying
You can't read. No, there was none of that. Nobody was bothering me. He just wasn't doing the work.
this is like how in the olden days, if they didn't really know how to cure people, they just leave them outside to get a cold and
That's
die.
what it was. You won't do the
This is
work,
just-
so you sit there with them. And it bloody what's his name would start setting fire to you. You had to watch where your arms were because he'd start setting fire to your clothes. Obviously, an arsonist.
Didn't someone say maybe this child shouldn't be in the glass with the
Nobody
other
gives a
humans?
shit, mate. Nobody give a shit. If you knew what
Fucking
else was going on in the class, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
That's the edited version.
That's the edited version.
Right, Thanksgiving. We keep doing this.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
So
Yes.
we're giving thanks that none of us went to the same school as Theo. That's what I'm fucking giving
So
thanks for.
Thanksgiving.
Okay, Thanksgiving.
I thought it was something to do with the Americans crossing into California.
That's how it evolved.
Yes.
No, not to California, just in general. Landing in the
Land-
States.
Well, it's an East Coast thing. The Plymouth Pilgrims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go, in sort of Pennsylvania, I do believe. There's a dispute, there's 2 different sites, but the story of the Indians, and, they had a bountiful harvest,
Right.
and they invited the Indians there because
Yeah.
the Indians,
The Native Americans, yeah.
sorry, they taught them how to survive during a particularly bad winter.
The Native Americans taught the Pilgrims who had landed
Yes.
in
If,
America.
Kind
if
of.
they'd known what was coming, they'd have
Well,
been like, fucking
the guy
die.
who taught them was Squanto.
Right.
I miss those sort of names.
Oh, it's a beautiful name.
I'd like to
isn't
have
it?
one of those sort of names.
Squanto. He's like Cher. I think he just had one name.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Prince.
Yeah. So he was Squanto, and he was the only survivor of a tribe that was decimated by disease. And the only reason he didn't die of the disease was because he was a slave to
Jesus.
European settlers. And he then taught these guys how to farm and to fish properly, because they were obviously fucking stupid
Yeah.
and completely ill-equipped.
Yeah.
Let's go colonize a different continent. And they're like, oh, shouldn't we learn how to do crops? No, God will provide. It's
Oh, right.
fine.
Yeah.
So poor old Squanto gave him a hand and then died from the disease that decimated his tribe.
Isn't it right that when they were killing them, they used to give them blankets with like influenza on and hand
Yeah,
them
there
out?
is that
There is
story
the
that whether that's.
false-
I wonder if that's true or not. I don't know if you
That has
have
been
enough knowledge.
documented. I don't know.
Because
what
I think
it is.
in Rome, they did the same sort of thing when they were trying. Rome was when they just barricaded themselves in. They were going because it was cold. People they were throwing over clothes to them.
Well, I
but they
suppose
had
there was always a
disease
thing
on
that they
them.
would, catapults from either side, if in a siege, would fire if someone had died of a plague or something.
Oh, just fire them
because
over.
often that would happen in a siege situation because on either side you're just stationary.
Right, yeah, you want-
You're
And
all
dead
cramped.
animals as
yeah,
well.
dead
Dead
animals,
animals,
but also dead people, and be like, you can have some fucking
Jesus
plague, mate.
Christ,
Yeah,
think of that.
yeah, but I mean, people do. This the medieval
Yeah.
time is an age of unparalleled slaughter and brutality, like unmatched
Life
either
was
side.
cheap.
What an age to be alive.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so yeah, go on.
So yes, poor old Squanto unfortunately bit the bucket with the plague that decimated his tribe. The next year they had they invited another local tribe in and gave thanks.
Thank you for teaching us.
yes.
I think. Okay, right.
And they had a 4-day festival. But however, this wasn't like with most customs and most traditions. This wasn't actually came into play until probably about the mid 19th century.
Right, okay.
So this wasn't actually like a thing. This is a thing, the supposedly historical fact. But event. But yeah, didn't actually become a tradition. The whole Native American thing didn't become a tradition because at that point they suddenly had some massacre. I think they had the Jonestown massacre or the something massacre there. So they had started to have conflict. So it wasn't, it wasn't sort of
he takes a couple of weeks off.
It wasn't necessarily popular to be friendly with the Native Americans at that point. So, but it sort of has its history. Interestingly enough, the first Thanksgiving thing was a contractually obliged from the London Corporation. So the first settlers arrived from the London Corporation, I think, in 1601. And it held in their chart. Basically, London Corporation was paying people to go out and colonize the New World. And they were sort of giving them stipends and stuff, and encouraging these people to go out and you can have a bit of land and a bit of money and a bit of thing, and we'll go out and
Sure.
We're just saying goodbye.
Yeah, say goodbye. Bye. Take care. Thank you for the cakes. Thank you very much.
And you can colonize this new area for us. And part of the contract was upon the day of their arrival, they were to give thanks in a festival with food and sort of celebrations to God.
That was to God.
As I said, it started out as a religious festival, and it has its roots in a Christian religious festival. But it sort of it's interesting because it's changed. I think it's changed really along the years, and it's very interesting because it's changed as America's changed.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, what are they celebrating in American schools as they teach them it? What are they teaching?
Well, the idea is it's the so initially it did start off, there were just always Thanksgiving. It's like, hey, let's give Thanksgiving because it's been a bountiful harvest. Let's give Thanksgiving because of, and that's not just in America, that would be other, they just have different names for it. So everyone had Thanksgiving whatevers, but then it just became, this is the Thanksgiving.
It wasn't at first, apparently it wasn't a set date. They would have things, we've had a good harvest.
I've got one that I will come to in a bit because it's amazing.
But then it became tied in. I mean, George Washington was one of the first people to sort of codify it and say that this should be a national thing, sort of more regularly. And sort of that came out of the War of Independence, the Revolution, War of Independence. And then Lincoln as well set it as a federal decree during the Civil War, again as a kind of as a sort of national solidarity, national unity movement. You know what I mean? And then again, Roosevelt during the Second World War, beginning of the Second World War, sort of pushed for it. So it seems to be during these crises, it sort of has a nationalistic thing behind it,
right?
And it seems to be that during these periods of crisis, it's
used to pull people together.
Yes,
like war.
Yes.
Well, or if in this country we'd have be like, oh, which royal can we bust out to have a marriage when everything's gone to shit and we'll all come together?
So I thought it was more simple than that, but it's gone through stages as America's grown. It's been used,
and it's really changed. And I was thinking it's kind of interesting because it's changed as bonfire night in this country has kind of changed.
Yeah, I suppose,
because bonfire night is, I think, quite detached from the actual
of course, there's almost nothing
of it.
to do with it now. Nobody knows.
Very few people. I mean,
kids.
I went to a bonfire celebration a couple of weeks ago. They had a parade. They had flaming torches through the town.
Was this in Lewis, was it?
That was in Rye.
Reading.
So it's the week after. They had the Lewis one on thing, and then the week after they do it in Rye. So I went there, absolutely pissing it down. It's good fun. It's nice. And then, they marched through, and then we all went down. They had a big pyre, and then they had a fishing boat on top, and they set fire to it.
Oh, that's what that was you were talking about earlier. Okay.
And then we had a fire display, and then we all trudged back in the rain. But that's quite detached from the actual kind of celebrating the defeat of a
so
Catholic
eventually that would
terrorist.
just be forgotten, and it'll be something else.
Yeah, but penny for the guy, but people don't think, oh, this is a guy that's trying to blow up.
So what's penny for the guy? What does that relate to?
Because you would make a Guy Fawkes effigy that would that would then be burned. I mean, also people burned effigies of the Pope. It wouldn't necessarily be any specific one, just any Pope will do.
Yeah,
to burn as the sort of Antichrist, kind of thing. But yeah, so that's what. Yeah, but no one ever thinks, oh, it's always. Obviously, we don't never remember 5th of November. And people think about that, but they don't really think about the wider context of that.
That's what I mean. Enough time has passed, so the context has changed, and it's just kind of about fireworks and a bit of fun.
I mean, because we don't burn effigies of. Was it Catesby? Was there one of the main ringleaders? Because Guy Fawkes was just a gunfire, essentially. I mean, he was a Protestant.
The people behind it.
Yeah, sorry, he was a Catholic, and he was a zealot, but he was just hired for the. He's the explosives expert. Let's bring him in. But he wasn't like armour specifically.
But then it'd be a funny thing to celebrate by throwing up fireworks. That's like almost...
Well, it's because we always used to light torches to celebrate, things. So it would be, you light a fire to celebrate whatever. It's the light in the darkness, I suppose. I know there's a sort of irony with obviously lighting something up, but it's not like they're blowing up. Well, I suppose fireworks, isn't it? True.
Yeah. Well, in Rye, they stopped. They didn't this year, and they did the fishing boat. But in the last few years, they have had David Cameron.
Yeah, that's very common.
George Bush, you know what I mean? Trump, Michael Gove, I think, as well, for his treatment of the NHS. And I think that they got into trouble last year because it was, I think it might be Boris or something, I can't remember. And people complained, and it was just, no, I think it was Nigel Farage. Was it Farage? Probably Farage. And people were a bit like, well. It was kind of non-political this year, which is a bit of a shame because I I
think there's a fun in burning, political thing because you're not saying I want to burn whoever alive. It's just like boo. It's basically just pantomime booing.
Then what if it is a flag? Do you think it comes out, or do you think that's too much?
No, because
really the rules are the same.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's normally. Well, when you go for a flag, you're burning that's the idea is you're insulting whatever nation that flag is.
If you're burning a human being, surely that would be the worst one.
Well, you're not, because it's a papier-mâché effigy, isn't it?
What if it's a fake flag?
Well, there's no such thing as a fake flag is a flag still. There's no such thing as a fake flag, is there? There's not like...
So can another country...
Other countries do celebrate.
Yes, they do.
Liberia.
No, I was going to say... What? Oh,
Liberia had
Thanksgiving?
Because they were... that's where the slaves were basically an American organization, this is going back a long way, set up the country of Liberia, essentially.
And that's the day they celebrate?
It's because obviously it's because they're giving thanks for the fact that they were freed as slaves and then given this country to go back to.
Right, okay.
It's a bit of an odd thing. It's like, you're free, now go away.
What was it before?
I'm not sure actually
what
Liberia was.
What's it surrounded by? What countries?
Liberia's
I think it's near Sierra Leone.
That's right. Yeah, so
it's on the west coast.
But somebody had to give it up.
I think they bought land. I think they bought up land to get as this.
It was. I know it was a territory. I'm not sure it was necessarily a nation state as we understand.
So Thanksgiving has actually gone for a few different things. It doesn't really mean one thing. It just depends what the recent history of that country is.
Yes,
it refreshes sort of thing.
I think. I mean, being an outsider and having a sort of mostly the connection I have through it is like TV specials. Watching it onto the sitcoms and Friends and whatever, and thinking, we're having our Thanksgiving celebrations and Simpsons and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's mostly my experience with it. Is it seems to be, as I said, a secular kind of a holiday. And I don't know, it probably does have Christian, maybe probably in some areas it does have Christian elements to it, but it's interesting because some people have been promoting it. I read a thing and they had some imam was promoting it, saying yes, Muslims are perfectly fine to celebrate this, and Sikhs and Hindus and stuff, things this is an American holiday and it's not necessarily a Christian holiday.
Oh, okay.
So it is mutated.
So we could start our own Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, but I think it was because that is now it's been sort of solidified as let's give thanks for the founding of America as a country, because this is the beginning of. I know it's not, but that's how it's now become that. It's now.
Yeah, you need something a bit woolly.
So for our Thanksgiving, it would be something like you could do. Say, I mean, we have VE Day, we have a Victory in Europe Day, but we don't tend to. That doesn't become a party per se, really.
I was thinking, I was thinking
you get a commemorative coin, and that's about it, or VJ Day, or.
But like Armistice Day, I mean, the Remembrance Day. Well, Remembrance Day now has gone on to have a wider. It used to be Remembrance of the First World War. Now it's sort of remembrance of veterans. It's almost becoming a Veterans Day, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So things do. I mean, also, obviously, bear in mind the first armistice, the early armistice days, that was in a hope and expectation there wouldn't be another world war. And, it's wars to end all, the war to end all wars and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so we could have a Thanksgiving Day here, but it would be a bit odd,
It'd be with disrespect.
Well, we were talking about how Halloween is massive in America.
But one of the things that has been promoted by America, whether it be Valentine's or Halloween, that's one of the ones that should be everywhere.
Well, I mean, because you could also argue that one of the big things about America is that it's split from the UK. So we wouldn't necessarily go, hey, I mean, I don't care. I'm not going, oh, God, I wish we'd kept a hold of the colonies.
These upstart colonies.
Yeah, exactly. These ruffians. But it would just be an odd thing to celebrate. It would be a bit,
well, no, not really. I just mean even if it's like a personal thing, like a Valentine's,
I'm sure people can
Thanksgiving.
I'm sure people can give.
That would be better. I think that I like that as a good day.
I wouldn't be surprised. I imagine probably if you go to an American themed bar around Thanksgiving time, they probably do say, "Oh, come in for Thanksgiving dinner," because if you're at the pub, if you're an American expat. Or if you're Canadian, because they have their own. But I think it's usually about a week or two earlier, isn't it?
I thought it was in October. It's slightly different.
It's a little bit.
Canada has Thanksgiving as well.
Oh, so have you got anything like Thanksgiving too?
Oh well, no. Can I read about the Thanksgiving that I did? This is I'm reading from my phone shamelessly, and this is from the New Yorker, but it just really struck with me.
What's this about?
This is about the myth of Thanksgiving and the idea that the Americans, the Native Americans turned up and were welcomed. It was all happy. Basically, they had the colonists had a non-aggression pact with a tribe. Excuse me, had a non-aggression pact with a tribe, and mutual defense and all that kind of thing. Bear in mind, there was probably more people in fact, we'll come to that in a moment. And when they were celebrating, part of what they were doing was just firing their guns, kind of hunting, but also just in wild abandon. Right. So all the Native Americans turned up going, "We're here to save you. We're here to save the day." And they turned up with a war party that was bigger than the entire colony. And it was still only 90 people. And so it was just a bit like, well, I guess you might as well stick around. Here, we're all fine. Let's have drinks and everything together. And then
everyone was a bit drunk, weren't they?
Yeah,
so
everyone just got pissed and had a party in the end. And so the chief who came to them, who was, I'm going the wrong way here. The Indians were Wampanoags. I apologize if I'm reading this wrong. Led by their chief, Usa McQuinn.
Oh, was that it? I thought I wanted the squawking duck or something.
So but even those are inventions that we've come up with. So they don't have those aren't their real. Right. Anyway. So they ate food, everything was fine. Then there weren't regular Thanksgivings. It wasn't like, hey, let's do this again next year. It would just be something else has happened. Let's give Thanksgiving to that. And then one of them was in 1676, I believe, going by this article. And that was where they were celebrating, giving thanks for the fact that they had defeated the native peoples in different battles. To mark the second occasion, so 1676 this is, I'm quoting from the New Yorker, the Plymouth men mounted the head of Usa McQuinn's son, Pumatacom, above the town on a pike, where it remained for 2 decades, while his dismembered body was left out to rot. So the son of the man that saved them, they then cut his head off and mounted on a pike.
Why did he get to that point?
Because obviously at some point the pact fell out and they just decided, it was just like, let's just take this land.
Eventually they just started expanding, didn't they? They got more and more people. The land was there, and they were like, "Yeah, we could just, bit
by bit, just chopped them to pieces."
They also used to have Thanksgiving in the Philippines because it being a former American colony, and it did carry on even when it was stopped being a colony. So they would during World War II. When the Philippines was occupied by Japan, they would kind of surreptitiously try and celebrate Thanksgiving. So the local Filipinos and the Americans who were there, who were prisoners. After the war, it kind of fell in and out of fashion, and it was brought back by a dictator, I think this was in the 80s, who wanted a Thanksgiving thing to celebrate when he seized power. So he was like, hey, let's have Thanksgiving for me. And that went on for a few decades, and then he was deposed.
What's his name? Is that Imelda Marcos?
I think it might be. I can't. I did have, and it was just like, you're like, wow.
Maybe with the Brexit thing.
Maybe we'll have Thanksgiving. We'll have Thanksgiving.
If the fascists take over.
No, what we should do is just have Thanksgiving for if Brexit happens, if it happens and we just go and we're like, fine, we can fucking stop talking about it every week, or we can have Thanksgiving for it being revoked. And I will certainly give thanks for if I never have to hear stop Brexit revoke that fucking guy, that stop Brexit revoke Article 50 bloke that's yelling in the background.
We'll call it B-Day.
B-Day. Just washing away the shit.
I had a chat with him a couple of months. When was it?
So who's this?
The guy who's wearing the EU flag in the.
I've got TV.
You ever watch? Okay. So anytime you're watching any news report around Westminster, obviously they can't
film news.
They can't just do a thing and saying this happened in Westminster. It's like because we're all so stupid, we have to look at to go, oh, that's the Westminster, because they're stood in front of it. So he's always in the background going, stop Brexit.
He's in the background of every news.
Just annoying. You will hear him constantly, and even it's got to the point where news reporters are kind of yelling at him now, and people be doing reports.
Jon Snow was all like,
will you please be quiet, sir?
But don't the police just cheer him on?
No, because he's got a right to protest. I'm sure he's been shooed on here and there, but I mean, in what is that bit called? the green in front of Parliament is where you're allowed to protest.
Oh, you're allowed.
So you can't. I mean, you can't just go around. You can't go.
But disturbing the peace or something.
You can't go knocking off the heads of statues and stuff or causing fights. But if you're just there demonstrating peacefully,
there's plenty of Leave people there as well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
If you shouting a lot.
We go there.
Shouting.
Yeah, you go there now, and everyone. I mean, Parliament's not in session. I'm sure there'll be dozens of people still there.
I'm all for freedom of speech, and I vote to remain, but Leave one. So,
but just annoying people.
But it's just that guy. I'm like, where's my drone strike for that guy? I'm sorry. Just like, whoops, finger slipped.
I had a chat with him.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but fuck off.
He was all right. When they had that bit with Theresa May last year, and she lost the vote, and then I think they were going to have a vote in the court. No,
doesn't narrow down, mate. She lost fucking every vote.
She lost the vote, and then they were going to have a leadership election. They were going to vote on whether they were going to have a leadership election within the Tory party. And she managed to hang on.
Yeah, she won that one, didn't she?
Yeah, that was December or something. I had a chat with him during that because I was like, "Oh, you're right, man. Yeah, how's it going?" Because I see him on the news. I'm like, "Oh, he's kind of famous."
And hear him.
He was like, "Oh, right, yeah. We're good." And I was like, "Oh, busy day then," because lots of stuff happening. And he was like, "Yeah, we got him on the ropes, and we got him on the ropes any day now, any day." And I'm like,
"It's been a year."
Okay, yeah. Like a year later, he's been doing this for like years.
Yeah.
2-3 years.
How does he get donations? Is he
doesn't have a job.
Wealthy?
You know what I mean? He does not have a job. I'm just like,
is he homeless?
I'm assuming he has somewhere to live.
I did look him up on Wikipedia. It's funny if you look at if his Wikipedia entry is the I think it's something like Stop Brexit Man, and then in brackets what his actual name is, which is Steve something wrong. Yeah, but his name is he's the Stop Brexit Man. So if you Google Stop Brexit Man, that's his entry in Wikipedia. Okay. That's his official thing.
Oh, let's get off the Brexit thing.
Yeah. So just that maybe that'll be the thing we give thanks for.
So Thanksgiving now, they use the turkey as well then for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
What's the presidential thing?
They pardon an turkey. They
Christmas,
a turkey, every Thanksgiving. Yeah, the president does pardons a turkey. A stay
but then what happens to the turkey?
I don't know. It just goes to live.
Apparently, the last one he went off and lived very happily in a petting zoo. Apparently, so
I mean, they probably get looked after because it's just like it's going to be a really bad PR thing if someone. Yeah,
it's a celebrity turkey now. You know what I mean? So
but is this the same turkey? No, it wouldn't be. Would it?
No, because it wouldn't be. That would be a bit cruel.
So do they film that?
That would be like a Hunger Games thing. Like
nobody would know, mate. Just reel it back out again.
Yeah,
Should we do it? Should we do it?
But I don't remember ever seeing it. They do promote it, don't they?
Yeah, it becomes a big thing. It's like, hey, isn't this nice? And you're like, yeah, but how many billions of turkeys are going to get slaughtered anyway? It's like, we saved one.
It's so silly. It's almost like, come on.
Because it's also a bit more.
And find a bird that's better looking on camera.
That's a terrible thing to say about Melania.
That's not me too.
Banter.
Because it is an ugly animal. I'm not having a go.
They are dreadful. Yeah, they're not. But I mean, that doesn't give it any.
They're not photogenic. They're not TV friendly. You know,
and they're full of tryptophan, which isn't good for you.
I don't know what tryptophan is.
It makes you go to sleep.
Is that what they're smoking? Yeah.
See, that's the thing. People think that when you eat turkey and you go to sleep, it's because you've had a big meal.
I have heard this.
There's tryptophan in turkey that makes you sleep.
Is that a natural occurring thing, or is that just something?
Yeah, no, it's inside of them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you know why you can't give dogs chocolate?
I know it's supposed to be
because they die, don't they? Basically.
Yeah, but it's something in it called theobromine, which is in chocolate.
That's your full name, isn't it? Theobromine.
Yes, that's it. I thought I'd just say
your internet handle.
Oh, I'd forgotten that. But yeah, Theo means God.
Yes.
Not my fault. And bromine means
I thought Theo
food.
means knowledge, doesn't it?
No, it means God.
Theo, as in philosophy, as in PHILO.
Yeah,
it means knowledge.
Yeah, but Theo.
I thought L meant God.
Philosophy means lover of knowledge.
Oh,
I think that's.
And so bromine is drink. So it means it's the thing that's nice in chocolates.
So God drink.
The thing is, the drink of the gods. Yeah, but the chocolate dogs already have a lot of that in them, their body anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
why we
giving
all
them
dogs
some.
So much.
Okay. That's hence like theology.
Yeah.
And,
So
theocracy.
Just managed to squeeze my name in there into the podcast. Where's my magazines?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking.
Crem's not sitting on the Vialucci magazine issue.
He's just doodling all over it.
Yeah, we drew the hit.
So what are you going to? While we do some shameless promotion, what are you thankful for this year?
The new podcast he's got coming up. He's thankful for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, new podcast. We're going to talk about films.
What's it called?
What's it called? Yeah,
you're not putting it up yet. Is it definitely going to happen?
Yeah. It is. We're going on Saturday. Yeah,
filmed at the BBC.
Thomas Salmon. Yeah, good lad. Thomas Salmon. Yeah, known him for a long time.
And what's the podcast called? We can promote. We're all one big happy podcast family.
Thomas Salmon's film.
You don't even know, do you?
I need to double check.
That's a hell of a sales pitch there, Tom.
Okay, we'll find out the link. Tell us and we'll post it in when we
Let me do the first show and then we'll find out the details. So you thankful for that? Are you thankful for anything else?
Being alive every day, baby.
Thankful that comic books are still a thing?
Yeah, kind of. I do.
Being alive. Come on.
Well, no, it's true. It's true. You know, I mean,
I suppose
I'm
every
happy
day
to be.
above ground,
I'm happy to.
So
be
one of the
around.
audience. Shh. Yeah, shoot their audience members. We started to throw out to the crowd.
I'm just happy to be here. You know.
What should Charles be thankful for? He's made it through another journey on London Underground.
He hasn't been murdered on the train yet.
Any other weird stories? Have you been?
You were involved in a police chase on a bus.
Oh, that was
somehow.
a while ago, but that's a good bus story, though. Yeah.
What was that? What was one?
Do you want
another classic bus story?
Yeah, go on a bus story. Okay, I was living in Birmingham, in South Birmingham. And I was on my way to work one day.
We will be getting back to the Thanksgiving
we
podcast.
will. Okay, minor detour, guys.
This needs a jingle, this segment. It needs its own thing.
Charlie's public transport stories. Okay, so I was on my way.
The gap.
I was on my way to work.
That's the segment.
I was working in the terrible casino in central Birmingham. Night shifts, beautiful.
What was you doing in there? Huh? What was you doing in the casino?
Working at the bar.
At the bar. Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't the guy that breaks, card counters' knuckles behind.
No. Unfortunately, nothing so interesting.
You said that no.
Yeah, you have to think about it.
Yeah.
How did he know?
No, we didn't have anything interesting.
So you're on your.
Yeah. So we got on. Okay, bus pulls up. I'll get on the bus. No, the bus pulls up, and as it pulls up, I'm like, wow, it really smells like weed. And I'm like,
cannot disguise that smell. You can't.
But really, really thick weed. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, whoa. And then the door opened, and the dude in the bus was like super pissed off, and like this huge cloud of weed just went whoosh.
Oh
out.
Jesus!
And I'm like, oh god, because I don't want that before I go work. It's depressing.
After work.
yeah. I say that for after. So I'm like, okay, and then I noticed that everyone's really pissed off, and it just it's like a thick fucking cloud. Right. So I paid for my ticket and the bus driver's really pissed off. So I go at the top and I'm like, oh shit. And then there's a couple of kids at the back and they're like about 13, 14, something 15. Like 3, 4 kids.
Damn kids.
And bloody kids. School kids as well in their uniform.
I hope you tutted.
The worst. And they were smoking a blunt.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And if you don't know what a blunt is,
I don't.
It is a cigar skin.
Right.
Usually filled with pure cannabis.
Right.
So it is fairly big and thick and
just watch a Snoop Dogg video.
Mostly pure.
Yeah,
it's what you see the rapper people smoke on the rapping videos.
Yeah. Will Smith.
Yes.
No, that's
the Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah. All the bad boys. All the bad boys are rap. Yeah. So I get up there and I'm like, God damn fucking kids. And then we go on. We rattle on a bit longer.
Did you have a comic book with you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
To waft away the smoke.
It was
the pages like
Superman shall save me.
It was the days before smartphones as well, so I couldn't even hide in my phone in the recesses of the internet. So we go along a bit late.
Hang on. Those days must have been hard to ignore people because somebody's you just look at them
at a metro. You know what I mean? That was it.
Other than that, you got nothing to look at.
And it was the Birmingham metro as well, so it was fucking small and it just had Birmingham centric stuff as well.
Right. So go on.
Birmingham City.
So you're annoyed. You're steaming away. You're not saying anything because you're
British.
British.
We stop between stops, right? And the bus driver comes up and goes, right, I've called the police. Everyone's going to have to get off and get searched. I'm like, fuck. And I'm going to be like,
surely the people that get searched are the people who are smoking a great big fatty bombati.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious because he's got them on camera as well. So he knows there's a bunch of kids, but he's like, right, we're going to get some sniffer dogs down and we're going to...
Fucking hell.
And I'm like, oh, for God's sake. I was like, I can't. And I
dogs?
was like, how the hell am I going to explain this to work? I got stopped on the bus. I'm late because I got stopped on the bus and searced for drugs.
Yeah. And was this also pre-mobile phone? Like pre-widespread mobile phone?
I mean, I had a mobile, but it was, like Nokia, it was really basic. I said it didn't have internet, so
I had to pull out aerial.
And also, I wasn't going to call them because I hated that place. They fuck off and die. Anyway,
fair enough.
So we all pile off the bus.
I love when we get these little dark moments from you. He went away there for a minute, and evil Charles took over.
Okay, so we all pile off the bus. The police van turns up with the sniffer dogs. The kids see that, and then as we're doing that, like there's a bus stop further down the road, and the bus pulled up to that. They run away. Jump on the next bus at the next stop, right? So the police turn up and then the bus driver goes, right, those kids have just jumped on that bus. I can identify them. We need to chase down that bus. So he's like, right, everyone back on the bus.
Oh, Jesus.
We're going to chase this other bus that was going slightly different directions as well. Wasn't going the same route. So I was like, so we all jumped on the bus.
The bus was chasing the other bus.
And then the police van was chasing this bus. And then our bus was chasing this bus. And then we would just we were literally...
At what point did the Benny Hill thing kick
I was
in?
just thinking that, yeah.
We were literally
Did it go
involved.
round the roundabout twice?
And then at some point they were chasing us and we didn't know how it happened. And it was like, oh no, this has all gone wrong, So yeah, we were chasing this thing there. And then eventually like they radioed ahead, but the guy wasn't listening or something. So this police van like literally did a hard stop on this other bus, like
Christ.
like sort of jammed in front of it, like jackknifed it kind of thing. And then we all had to get off our bus and then identify the kids on it. And then they got the sniffer dogs and they had to go through like every one of us.
You quickly emptied your pockets. I was going to say.
I was a bit like, oh God, nothing on me. No, good.
Did I leave the heroin at home?
Yeah, good. No, I didn't. But like, and then the dogs are going weird because obviously we all smell like weed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
We were it was like,
what a bunch of fucking pricks.
but it just smelled
I'm
like an Amsterdam coffee shop.
Yeah,
just
imagine.
ridiculous.
Remember, what's his name?
And I was late for work.
Yeah.
And I
Stinking
was
of weed.
just
That's what I
like,
mean. I have no objection to people smoking weed, marijuana, whatever. I have no problem with that. But do it in the fucking privacy of your own home. It's like smoking in general on a thing. It's like you're inflicting on other people here. You are imposing your whatever on other people.
A lot of the jobs I used to work at, these lonely jobs, people would smoke weed at work and do more at work because they were terrible jobs.
Yeah.
But I'd say to people, I don't get used to that. To me, that's like drinking. So if it's first thing in the morning and you're smoking, that's like me seeing you drink couple of brandies in the morning. Like you're sort of an addict.
You've been watching me, have you?
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's like if you're walking down the street and it's 11 o'clock in the day, I imagine, you carrying a bottle of vodka with you. Like it's that's something you
you're
say.
getting
to
intoxicated.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Intoxicant,
Yeah. What's his name? It was the drug dealer who got assassinated like 20 years ago in Colombia. The main one.
Oh, the
Narcos.
guy.
What's his name? Bloody hell.
God, three old men try and remember something.
Pablo Escobar.
Oh,
Very good. Thank you very much.
One of the many audience members come up with there.
You need to put on different voices.
Yeah,
It seems like we've got loads of. You weren't here when we had. I still love this so much.
that?
We were trying to remember what grime music was.
Oh yeah,
and so it was us two
Let's go through
and our
everything.
sponsor, our Love Drink sponsors. And we were like, what's it? It's not garage. It's not. It's not grunge.
What do the kids listen to?
It's not.
like we
new
had
romantics.
We had somebody under 40 in the audience that used to grime.
I don't know. There's drill as well now.
Oh, that was what it was. Yeah,
was it
basically.
drill?
Yeah, that's what it was.
I just makes
Can't
me
even
feel
remember.
old.
Look,
It
that's
just
how
makes
old
me
we
feel
are. We
old.
can't even remember the
But
thing
Pablo
we forgot.
Escobar, what he was getting them to, so because they had sniffer dogs, they started using sniffer dogs on the plane, and he was hiding it in tyres, in everything, and eventually they started to put it into big water tanks like the cocaine and spray everywhere on the plane, the money everywhere with cocaine. So basically everything stunk of cocaine.
Yeah, because they can mix it. It's sort of soluble
water. Yes, you just put it in water, spray everything, and then that gets rid of the dogs.
They did it traditionally in clothes. They used to do a lot of clothes, and they used to just transport clothes, and then they used to get it out, their clothes, soak it out.
Is that?
Oh, well, no,
it might be. Maybe it's something from a film that someone came up with as a book. But I thought, isn't that one where the cocaine is smuggled? That it's liquefied essentially.
Yeah, that's what Charles is saying. Yeah, they put it into materials and then just drain it out or dehydrate.
Oh no, but
things.
I thought it was literally like in they can put it in a tanker, make it seem like it's a tanker, and then once they get to
you can do that,
destination, then
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard.
I did smoke crack out of a can once.
Oh
but
Jesus Christ,
but
that's a bit strong.
I didn't because I'd bought it off somebody and it was obviously not. So I was doing.
But you were willing to smoke crack.
I went through the process, but it just didn't do
that's
anything.
the thing with crack. I'm like, God, that looks far too Moorish to
Well, it
even
was
try
over a
once.
Coke can, but it was obviously I got ripped off.
Yeah.
So technically I haven't, but I went through the process.
As I said, I've never heard anything good about it. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure it's wonderful fun, but the downsides seem to outweigh.
Yeah, you never hear like
the brief high.
Yeah, celebs always doing like stories like, oh yeah, there was a time I was fucked up with this actor on cocaine and we did this, or we got so blazed and this happened, and you never hear. And then we did crack, and this awesome thing happened. It was always like, and then all my teeth fell out and I lost. It was just there's never like, here's someone come back from the brink of crack, being a crack addict.
Oh, thank God I was scared of needles because I didn't give a shit. I was doing anything, mate. This isn't very Thanksgiving-y.
No, Thanksgiving.
We're
Okay.
Thanksgiving for the fact that we're
I'm
not
still
all crack
here.
addicts.
Yeah, we're still
That's
here.
what we'll give thanks
That's
for.
sort of well done.
Fascinating.
So have you got any Thanksgivings?
What, any things I'm thankful for? Just the usual, even though I kind of to the mick out of me, just the usual things. Yeah, like being happy, healthy,
Unemployed. That's a
unemployed,
nice little thing,
and unemployable. No, it's been quite a fun year. I'm thankful for this podcast. Actually,
Yeah,
I know that's
yeah.
cheesy
Bloody
as
right,
fun, but
mate.
it's the favourite part of my week is coming to this podcast.
Well, you've got nothing else to do.
I know,
It's
not
sat at home
anymore,
the rest
no.
of the week, so it's not much of an
I
accolade.
know, just Sam and
Yeah,
we'll
wank-
I'll take the
you can only
compliment.
wank so much, you know what I mean? It just loses.
speak for yourself,
It
Charles.
just loses its fun. I mean, after like 5-6 hours, it's like, you know what? I knew I was getting old when I was just like, I remember one night I was like, yeah, I'm all right. And then I was just like, I was going
Cover your ears.
I'm worried about Taisha the whole time
Yeah.
I was talking.
I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go sleep.
Wank yourself to sleep.
No, I stopped sort of, I was about to have one and I was like, you know what? I'm just tired. I'm just going to go to bed.
So when you say you're about to have, do you mean like you?
Hang on.
You're
Can
about to finish.
Has Taisha got a
No.
question? Can you pass her the mic?
Oh, okay, hang on. We're handing over to Daisha.
Audience.
You're about to have what?
I was about to have a wank. Well, I was sort of in the
why we
beginning.
were
I
warning
was
you
sort
to
of
cover
set
your
up,
ears.
and I was at the beginning of it, and I was sort of about to. And then,
Let him go. Go on. Yeah. Go on.
and then yeah, and then I
Do
was,
you go through a whole like?
there's a process.
It's a process. Yeah.
There's a process.
Make sure the door's locked.
Yeah.
Curtains.
Get
I
some-
mean, yeah, I was going to say, what's the process? Just step one, get dick out. Step two,
yeah, sort of like
Touch
get
it.
in the mood, you know.
knock on the next door. Like, the upstairs the door and make sure he's not in.
even beyond our usual. This has gone to a
Yeah, this
fucking
has
place.
reached a
This
low.
is- so you just,
I like-
but you just like without being too gross and graphic, you started wanking and then just stopped.
I
because
just lost interest and stopped, and I said, and I remember that moment because I was like, yeah, I think I'm getting old. You know what
So
I mean?
you and
That
your
was-
hand became an old married couple who just couldn't be bothered anymore.
I just hadn't. I faked it.
Oh, you cheated.
I was like, oh, that was good. Okay, bed.
Well, at least it took the sting out of my comment about the crack.
Yeah, that was
Slightly.
like that went somewhere. And Theo, what are you thankful for?
Well, the podcast definitely. Everybody here.
Taisha.
I would thank Taisha,
Yeah.
but it's quite early on. I've not had my confidence knocked in people so much that I don't.
You have had your faith tested, haven't you?
Yeah, no, this is about work. I should
Yeah, that's
say,
what I'm
yes.
saying. Yeah, not like, yeah.
Yeah, but
Faith never tested is no faith at all.
Oh, look at that.
we should have ended on that.
Yeah.
Should we just end it there? Just yeah, the podcast. Karem, thankful
thankful for
Karem.
Karem.
Yeah,
That's
'cause he's
about,
definitely.
that's about the most coherent thing I've got to say all day. So I
Okay,
don't
that's
think I
your
can
lot.
repeat that.
You
That's
just
me
go
done,
now.
probably. Yeah.
He's gone from wank to philosophy.
We're thankful for Karem's wife's cakes.
Oh, cake, yeah.
And her.
And her, yeah. And
Yeah,
the
we're
marriage.
thankful for her.
And the cat, actually. I'm glad they've got a cat. That's bought me a couple of
Yeah.
years of still holding on to him. before he quits.
Oh, before baby.
Before the baby, and that's the end
Yeah.
of that. Podcast. Oh, I might bung Taisha in there. I'll take a risk.
You
Yeah,
might.
thankful Taisha.
Right.
See, she's funny because she's the opposite.
Are we
funny
talking
enough.
about Taisha like she's now not literally...
Yeah. No.
No, the cat's not called Taisha as well.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, what a weird coincidence.
No, because she's what's that? Do I pay a compliment without?
I don't know. You need to say it. Let's see what happens. It's one of those.
No, because on the face of it, most people are quite
That
bolshy.
door, that sound you're hearing is Taisha slamming the door.
It's that car engine. No, most people have been quite bolshy about what they can do, and they fail.
I talk mountains and deliver molehills.
Yeah,
kind
but
of thing.
Taisha's quite unassuming, but she's got a lot of talent. So it was odd. Like she's quite unassuming about what she can do.
Quite modest.
Yeah. So that's a nice little thank you there.
That's definitely not weird that we're talking about you when you're you're within high-fiving distance.
I do think of it.
Let's test that. We're testing the high... Are you in high-fiving distance?
Oh, she's leaving you hanging, mate.
I know. That was snubbed.
Giving you the
No, it
face.
was high-fiving.
No, it's just a friendly podcast.
It's not the 90s. We don't do that anymore.
No, it's not like when Charles left Karem hanging for about 5 minutes.
That was an accident. I was just confused.
It was like starting to get the shakes in his hand.
I've been walking, okay? I do
Just like this
physical
whole arm I can
exertion.
hold.
I don't know how long I can
hold
hold
this.
this for.
Can't wank, can't shake hands, nothing. That arm strength
Physical
is gone.
exertion. I had to
We've
walk.
got to move off.
I walked a whole tube distance. Okay, I walked from what was effectively
Wherever
the
it
next
is.
station
Yeah,
to here.
wherever it is.
Okay,
Which one's the next one?
there was South Kensington.
Okay.
People are closing in on us. We've got to keep
We'll
it.
get with doxing
They're
ourselves
aware.
here, yeah.
They're aware we're in London.
Yeah.
Somewhere in central London.
We strike at dawn.
So let's try and get it back to something that's sort
So
of like
Thanksgiving,
reason-
yeah.
Thanksgiving, the
We'll have-
last Thursday of November.
Yeah.
And that is because it was used to mark Evacuation Day. Now, Evacuation Day is the day
Everyone
marked-
goes for a shit.
is the day marked when the last British forces left America
Oh right.
after they lost.
What year was that then?
I think that was I think it was a bit later. I think it's about 78, 77, 78.
78 what? 19?
1770.
Oh, I was going to say.
I think it was a little bit after the conflict, but it took them a while to get ships and everything. Cause,
So we've got nothing on America now. We don't own any little part of it. Canada? No,
Canada?
That's not, yeah.
Well, it's a Commonwealth, isn't it? It's not. We don't own it.
But it's all ours.
But it's still Her Majesty.
It's also still.
But we're
Canada
giving all the
and not
bits back
America.
now, haven't we? Have we stopped doing that? We were doing that a while ago.
No, we don't
weren't
give we don't give things back per se. They're just part of the Commonwealth, so we don't own them. But they can elect and they can just decide they don't want to be part of the
But we
Commonwealth.
Gandhi, what was given back to there?
Well, that was because it was the Empire. So then that was direct rule.
That was direct rule.
But didn't something happen like 10 years ago with Japan or China or something?
Hong Kong.
20 years ago, Hong Kong was returned, but that was because it was leased.
95?
No, 97.
Oh, it was at least
99.
No, 97. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It was 97. That's because it was leased, essentially.
Oh.
It was a victory in the Opium Wars.
Yeah, the Opium Wars. We got them all. We got pissed off that the Empress, in fact, the Dowager Empress, didn't want everyone to be off their face on heroin, and we went, no, you've got to be high. So
how dare you?
Yeah,
How dare you complain about our drugs?
Yeah, because we need the opium to pay for the tea. You know.
Do you watch American Gangster with what was his name?
Oh, Denzel Washington.
yeah.
The film. Yeah.
And the story that they were smuggling the heroin back in the coffins of the dead
Oh, the
soldiers.
dead GIs. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good idea.
Was that American Gangster?
Yeah.
That was. Yeah.
Was that
I
one?
thought that was quite a good film, actually.
Yeah, it was a good film.
He was Bumpy Johnson's.
Bumpy Johnson. See, I think we need more names like that, especially with criminality.
He was
We need
called
more-
Bumpy Johnson.
Bumpy Johnson.
I don't
He was
remember
Bumpy
that.
Johnson's, or Bumpy. I think
Bumpy,
Bumpy
yeah.
Johnson's driver. And that's
He
how
was his
sort of-
protege after,
Yeah, he
yeah.
sort of got into it.
That's how the film starts. He gets killed or he just dies.
Yeah.
So he was the driver for someone called Bumpy Johnson.
Yeah,
and
for this big time
Bumpy Johnson?
African American criminal dude.
Oh, okay.
And then he sort of got into drug trade.
Well, that was like Al Capone, wasn't it? Because he was the guy that was the big man was Big Jim Colosimo, which is a cool name, and then he was.
I think you've only got one career choice, really.
Yeah, really. When they were like, "Well, I'm going to call him," but then he was usurped he was assassinated, and the guy that took his place was called Terrible Johnny Torrio. And you think, well, if you name your kid Terrible, of course he's going to,
Have you seen Hercules in New York?
God, it always
bit
comes
of a
back to
jump.
Arnold, doesn't it?
Have you
Always.
seen it?
No, I
Well,
haven't.
the two
I've seen bits
criminals
of
in
it.
it. I mean, it's an exaggeration of New York. Even at the time, it was an exaggeration. And two of the criminals in it.
Is that the one where Arnold's really badly dubbed?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. It's Lee Van Cleef. He dubbed
Is it Lee
No,
Van Cleef?
it's
That
not,
would be
I don't think
weird.
So, no.
I can't remember. It's someone like this.
But the two of the criminals in there, if you look at the end of it, one of them's called Fat Lips and one's called Nitro.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm assuming he was allergic
the
to
characters
peanuts.
or the name or
the characters, the name of the characters.
Yeah,
Obviously
okay.
the credits are Fat Lips and Nitro.
Yeah, I do like that.
See, that's what you want as a gangster.
Yeah.
Forget nowadays, like
You want a cool nickname?
something
do
a
it,
bit
yeah.
charming, a bit funny.
Johnny Tight Lips.
Johnny Tight Lips. Good lord.
Yeah, so
Are you shot, Johnny? Did you see where they go? Maybe I did. Maybe I did.
Are you been to the cinema recently? Watch any films? Oh, the Thanksgiving films. You have Christmas
I'm
films.
sure there must be. Well, I don't think there are Thanksgiving films per se, but I'm sure it's probably a big weekend for
There's
cinema.
probably Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving
films I
weekends.
like, but hang on, what's Planes, Trains and Automobiles? That's Thanksgiving. It's not
Yeah,
Christmas.
that is Thanksgiving.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
It's often
yeah.
seen as that because we had this with when John came in to talk about films, and I
Yeah.
think we mentioned it, and he did correct
Yeah.
us that it's Thanksgiving.
One of my Christmas collection. That's in my Christmas driving collection. When I go down to the beach,
to yell at the sea.
which I don't yell at the sea.
He does
He's
yell
adding
at
it
the-
for
he can
theatre. But no, I'll
totally-
go with it for the theatre of the story. I'll go with
Yeah.
it.
Take that, you see.
And
I just think it's just no words, just
I see it more as a sort of me walking down the beach in a white shirt with Paula Abdul music in the background.
Oh,
Michael
God.
Bolton just thinking.
Living-
Like an
your
album
pop
cover where you're
star.
very small on
yeah,
it.
and a seagull. And I
Do you sit on a stool and then stand up when the chorus comes in? Is that what it is?
something like that.
Yeah.
But it's probably it's more pathetic than that. But as I drive down there, I've got 3 films. One's added to the collection, so I watch AI,
Yeah.
Muppets Christmas Carol, or The Grinch. But I've also got The Exorcist in there.
AI is a Christmas film.
Yeah, I like the ending when he gets to spend the day with his mum.
Yeah.
He just wants that one perfect day. The Steven Spielberg film.
Yeah,
Everyone slated that. That's a bloody good
I like
film.
that film. I think it's quite good.
He's just
Here's
because he's
here's
got a movie podcast
Here's the Grinch
now.
himself.
He's gone all stuck up now, and then he's doing a movie podcast. What's wrong with
I
it?
hated that.
Why did you hate a film
It-
about a child trying to find its mother?
It just never ended. It
is a bit long,
It was
yeah.
Return of the King. It had these fake. I remember
Yeah.
seeing it at the cinema, and I wasn't particularly interested. And we wanted to go out to the pub or something, and I was just like, okay, let's finish it. And then there was a bit more, and I was like, okay.
But it's weird because the ending, you don't
like,
expect it. You think it would just end somewhere, but then the best bit of the film is the ending, which is so odd. About the alien, he dies, and then
it is the most memorable bit of the film,
and all that.
Yeah, but I like the fact that this. Well, I thought I always took it because I've read that they're aliens, but I always took it that they're just the hyper evolved robots.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
but I think
it could be anything.
I think when you read a synopsis of the film, it does say aliens. But I always took it. Yeah,
I just thought that.
It's 5,000 years. It could be anything.
Yeah, but I do like that it's.
But it's Pinocchio. That's what it is. I want to be a boy sort of thing.
Yeah, it's basically.
So how can you dislike that film? Everything about it's good.
And so you've added planes, trains, and automobiles too.
No, that was one. That was always in there for years ago. That was one of my favorites. I like that film.
That's so good.
Griswold's Christmas.
Griswold's Christmas.
What's that?
National Lampoon's Griswold's Christmas.
No, I never really know any of them.
Have you seen the Krampus, the horror film? The kid.
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen it?
It's supposed to be really good.
You've got to watch it.
It's on Netflix, I think, so I should watch it.
No, it's not, is it?
I think so.
I don't think it is.
Or Amazon. I get confused.
Because it's historically, the Christmas horror films are never allowed. Like, it's just it's a fail all the time. But it's a good film.
No, not true. They always have, the BBC used to have a thing. They would always do one little horror, TV
horror
movie.
Christmas. Yeah, Tim Burton or maybe something like that.
No, they would do a proper. There was a long tradition. The BBC.
Really?
They revived it recently with Mark Gatiss. They would do. It would be one. It's only. I don't know if they're always going to do it, but they did do one last year.
So the supposed live one.
No, not the Inside Number 9. Yeah. No, not the live one. But they've done, because that was for Halloween, but last year again, I think. They always used to do films so it's The Signal Man was one. Not sort of the, it's never going to be, violent horror.
Yeah, okay.
You're not going to have that. So it's not going to be, because there are horror Christmas films, because they're always done as a
novelty. It's not going to be like Christmas Saw then.
Yeah. No, but I mean, there's always there's one somebody I know, a friend of mine actually had a thing where I haven't seen it because he's only just sort of started posting about it on Facebook. About sort of Santa, but as a serial killer. So the classic masked killer, but he's got a Santa mask on.
No,
he's dressed as Santa. He's going around murdering people.
This is the first year that's gone where it's got closer and closer and closer. And this year, for the first time, I saw Halloween and Christmas presents at the same time.
Yeah, that's
like they're just stretching
I always
out.
Wait till Halloween's over, and then the Christmas.
But it used to be a massive gap, and now they just can't wait.
There's always the thing of Selfridges, isn't it? It doesn't has like a Christmas stall in June. It's only it's a table and that's it of stuff. But
I was thinking about not going to the beach this year. I was trying to sort of wean myself off it.
It's because I was mean about you.
No, I think last year
you want to go somewhere else to yell.
When I came back and the next door neighbours were having a party, I think they're Brazilian or Spanish, so I could hear the music going. And I thought, I should have stayed down there or something. I shouldn't have come back here because I got back a bit early.
Yeah.
And I just started to value because I sat in the dark before I put the TV on. I was just thought, this is ridiculous.
Sat in the dark by yourself while the people next door
were partying to.
Yeah.
But I was actually, this is pathetic, but I'm just going to tell you what happened. So it was actually quite nice.
Go on, tell us.
I went outside
because
there's a seat right below the window where the windows open and all the lights are on. And I was just sitting there listening to them all having a laugh and fun. I thought it was quite nice.
Isn't this actually the plot of The Grinch, though, that he's always left out of Christmas and that's why he hates it?
I can't remember. No. Oh, is that why I can't remember?
Well, I think, or isn't that how they warm his heart?
Years.
Because they invite him. He was never not invited. It was all his it was all his thing, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I've seen it for years now. I always watch. I like the Muppets Christmas. They've got a good thing.
Yeah.
I like the Muppets films.
Yeah, Muppets Christmas Carol is a brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a solid Christmas Carol adaptation. Actually,
the Planes, Trains. I haven't watched that for a while because that's at the end. That reminds me when I was young, when I sort of when I used to lie to everybody about what I was doing. Because at the end, he says
because he's not going back to his wife, is he?
He sits in the train station.
Yeah,
but that reminded me.
Has she passed away or has she left him? I can't remember.
Oh no, he said she died. He said because he kept talking about her, but he didn't say, "Oh, she's dead."
Like me. My wife likes me. My kids like me.
Then at the end, he adds it all up and he realised, and he goes back and he sat at the thing on his own. But that was Thanksgiving. But that reminded me of being in the church, sat on my own, and how pathetic that felt that night on Christmas. Same sort of thing. And I thought, I thought, I don't really like that memory. That was pretty pathetic.
Yeah, but then John Candy. So you need Steve Martin to invite you around for dinner.
No, I'd hope he wouldn't be. I can't stand that bloke. He's the worst bit of the film.
Steve Martin?
Yeah, he's like
so
any of the ones that bounce around and jump around all the time, like physical comedy. I hate it.
Yeah, but he's more than physical comedy.
No, John Candy. That's the.
Yeah,
I like it. Just
poor old John Candy.
Yeah, poor sod.
Steve Martin's all right in some films. Bowfinger's.
I haven't seen them.
Roxanne's good.
Roxanne's all right.
Man with Two Brains.
I haven't seen that either. That might be the only film I've seen him in.
Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. It's quite good. It's weird. Yeah, I think because it's meant to be play, but it's always plaid. It's always a joke. He's a private detective.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's a spoof on Private Detective.
What do you do for Christmas?
I
Your
go
parents?
to the sea, and I do actually go to the seaside. I do live in Brighton. No, I go to my parents. Yeah.
And what do you do? Sit there?
Yeah, we literally just sit in silence
Cool.
until one of us reaches for the knife. No, we just sit and we just have a Christmas day.
I wouldn't know what to do now. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, I do. So we
You play games, don't you? Board games.
It depends. Yeah, sometimes we
Watch a Christmas movie.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you let me finish, I can tell you what we do. So we'll have Christmas Eve. Is usually I'll see one of them because my parents aren't together. So quite often it's been out for dinner with my mother.
And you get to open a Christmas present on Christmas Eve, don't you?
No, because we're not Europeans. Brexit means Brexit.
Oh.
No,
I didn't vote for this.
I think when we were children, when we were all, and also because the on my mum's side, it's quite a big family. There's 4 sisters, so obviously a lot of kids. So we were all kind of within a couple of years of each other. We would usually have a thing where we'd all get together, open maybe one Christmas present on Christmas Eve, and just because that would be all the cousins together, and then otherwise you just open your own presents when you're at home with your.
I remember having a friend when I was younger.
I remember having a friend.
No,
when I was
about 14. Yeah, so and at Christmas Eve once, when I knew he'd gone out. And this is pathetic again. He went out, and I remember walking about 4 miles to where I lived, to where he lived.
Yeah,
I knew he wasn't there, but I sat outside where he lived by the post office and just sat there listening to Mariah Carey music on my own. And it was snowing. It was like quite.
The only sad bit of that is the Mariah Carey thing. The rest is
no, it was a couple of songs. There's a few of them. I destroyed the tape when I got back 21.
So you were still
just sat there outside.
But you were still living
office.
with your parents.
Yeah, but I hated being in the house.
I know that's
But because it's Christmas Eve, so I was scuttled out. I walked about 3-4 miles, quite far, to another town, and I just sat outside the house. I don't know why. I think it must have been something.
Did you want to be invited in?
No, he wasn't there
privately.
So,
I see. Because he'd gone away to watch the other family.
It was a mix of I knew the seat was there and there was no one there, but it's outside the post office. But it was. I remember it looking quite nice. You know when you get that white glow.
Yeah.
And it's because it was a road not many people went down, and there was a nice seat outside. And you just sat there staring at the snow. There's many times been like that. Just waiting for something.
Well,
thank you.
Thanks everyone for listening. Hide the razor blades.
That wasn't sad at the time. Wasn't that sad at the time? It was quite a nice little night. Sat there.
Yeah.
That's a good memory. That's a good Christmas memory then. Okay.
It wasn't a bad one.
I mean, I suppose, obviously we're kind of like making fun, but I suppose with your upbringing, let's call it, I suppose you didn't know better without being unkind? Apart from what you maybe saw in films?
If everything's bad, then if you do something that's not bad, that's good.
But what I mean is you don't.
So not being around bad was a good thing.
But you never. What I mean is you weren't. It wasn't like, oh, why can't we do?
No, there's
why don't we have like Christmas stockings?
I didn't know anything.
Why have the Christmas stock? It was never a thing.
As long as there's no violence.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I suppose in a way, probably was.
It felt like a nice. That was a nice little safe place I used to go to. Just sit there. Thanksgiving. What else have we got to thankful for?
Yeah, let's move away from that. But
we haven't got much.
No, we did do our Thanksgiving, and then we went to depressing Christmases.
It sort of went down slowly.
We were up.
We went through masturbation, went through crack cocaine.
Yeah. But then we kept
back
pulling
to
it back
domestic violence.
Yeah, exactly.
Bus chases.
Yeah, weed, a lot of drug heavy.
Yeah, exactly. We're all thankful for it.
We've made it. That's the thing we're thankful to go.
Looks like we made it.
If we could do a montage as a way out. Theo went on to open a prison service.
We're thankful for love drinks. We're thankful for
love drinks.
Yeah,
we're missing them today. They have they're at XL. So the woman texted me today to say.
No, I saw that.
And I spoke to Chris today.
Yeah.
Chris Beach, to say how did it go, and he said it's going well. So today's their last day, so I'll be getting them next week, and we'll be back to full vitality.
You got to be thankful because the new magazine, as in it's not the new magazine, it's a new printing.
Yeah, Taisha's here, she's ready. We're one step closer to the magazine.
So what is different about this one than...
Well, this one hasn't got blank pages inside.
Did the old one have blank pages inside?
Because...
You don't trust me because I ate with my hands and I ate the cake.
Oh, yeah, you pig. But can I just say, I was the only one that ate with a spoon and a cravat.
Eating cake with your hands
It's not a cravat, is it? What's the thing that hangs off you?
Well, it's a serviette.
Serviette, yeah. What's a cravat then? Hat.
No, cravat is something you hang, but that's a bit like saying, "Oh, I put my tie on to catch the crumbs." A cravat is just you hang right. It's just
an Oscar Wilde. And he's seat.
You're back to turkeys again.
Gobble gobble.
No, it's just you wear them around your neck. What is it? Oh no, it's a shirt. Is it? It comes on the shirt.
Isn't it the ruffles that you'd wear under like a suit? Like
Isn't it the thing? I thought it was the slit.
No, that's cummerbund.
Those are the cummerbund.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that?
Cummerbund. You know, like where so it would go.
That elasticated.
Yeah,
thing.
rather than it's basically what fat. That's a cravat. Yeah. So
a cravat.
is like
That's what I was wearing.
It's like a neckerchief.
A gentleman's neckerchief.
A neckerchief. Yeah. I was sort of like wearing that.
Okay, yeah. So I'll give you.
It was just by Kleenex.
They basically someone looked at a standard neckerchief and went, this just doesn't look, kind of
chiefy enough,
froofy enough. So let's find a way.
My grandpa used to wear one on days he was feeling a little spiffy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's for like, I want to be just extra spiffy and more
of
a dandy.
Should we end on a poem?
Let's end on a poem then.
So the magazine is personal development, but I want everything's in about personal development to a degree, whether it's fashion or anything like that. So it'll be coming out soon, early January 2000.
So we must be thankful for that. Yeah, reason to stay alive.
So there's a nice poem that a lady allowed me put into the back of it, because every magazine at the end is going to have a poem, something to do with personal.
As long as it doesn't say "live, love, laugh," that'll be fine.
I don't know what that is.
Be thankful.
His own song.
It's just a dreadful thing.
So
apologies to anyone who has a "live, love, laugh."
Do you
have one, Taisha?
Have one? What? What is it?
It's just some thing that people always have on posters, and it's just like. A what? Sorry?
Love and joy.
Oh. That's fine. Love and joy is fine. Live, love, laugh is just... It was probably fine when it first came out, but then everyone had it.
I can't stand there's just pointless platitudes like that. I mean, what? Okay, live, love, what? Just get on with life. Like, what are you talking about? It does nothing.
Yeah.
I think statements just do my head in. Because people will live their life reading
just saying
statements.
The words love and joy is fine.
Means nothing.
But yeah.
Sometimes it's nice just to have something positive around.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
just so you're not all looking at horrible stuff. You know what I mean?
the Linda Ellis has allowed us to use this in her first copy of the magazine.
Oh, the poltergeist is back. That's you off the thankful list.
yeah. Karem isn't thankful.
Yeah.
So to finish off, in a way, the BBC will be read by Andrew K. Fawn.
Oh, well,
good night,
nothing
ladies.
else is read by Andrew Kevin Fawn.
So this is the Vialucci Podcast. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Boop. Boop, 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 boop.
Just before I begin, have you noticed how the magazine still has other podcast people
yes,
in it?
I
know. That's just
that is on our list.
Yeah, that's a steaming dump right in there.
So, BBC Radio 4, continue.
Quick coffee here. Feel for me just for a few seconds, Charles, while I swig my coffee.
He's gonna smoke.
Okay.
He's just having a quick puff on his pipe.
Yeah.
Put that down. That's it.
You ever noticed how pipes are dying out?
I mean, to be fair, I was really concerned that was a horrid euphemism.
There's only a certain breed of people who smoke
pipes. Hang on, Graham, is his microphone
in a
good?
phone booth the other day, and I don't think it was tobacco.
So this isn't an ABAB poem, is it?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, never mind. So The Dash by Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at a funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke of the following date with tears, but said what mattered most of all was a dash between those years. For that dash represents all time they spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what little the line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we lived and loved and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that still can be rearranged. To be less quick to anger and show appreciation more and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash? Oh, so I ruined the rhyme and timing there, didn't I? That's copyright 1996, Linda Ellis.
Oh, that's a good poem, that is.
Yeah, it's a nice little poem there.
Yeah,
I would like to say that was her first read through as well. I didn't, get to rehearse that.
Well, you don't compliment yourself.
Yeah, I know.
You slipped up a couple of times.
I enjoyed it.
I'm going to bloody read it again then.
I looked like Charles was crying at the time. Were you crying there, Charles?
I let the emotions run over me.
Yeah, I thought so.
Good.
I wear my
You
heart
didn't get tired midway through the emotions and stop.
So that's the magazine. Anyway, so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful.
Fish pie in 3 simple steps.
That's our dude food section. Cooking for those who can't cook.
I think fish are gross. they freak me. Genuinely, I don't eat fish. This is my thing.
So if I held a trout and said kiss it.
I think most people don't want to.
What if it was particularly attractive fish?
I'm not going to lie, Charles.
I've
that
never
was
met a
some of the
fish.
best comic timing. Fish by a reasonable step. Yeah, so guys, you can't get. I hate fish.
It's his Twitter feed. That'll be on his Twitter feed.
Yeah,
later.
that's his bio.
They just the look. They gross me out and they freak me out. I didn't find them disgusting.
Well, they were here
not
before
eaten.
us, though.
I like a bit of scampi, but I like stuff that doesn't look like
a fish, yeah.
So a bit of fried scampi's nice.
So massacre it, chop it up, put some batter on it, and you're fine.
I'm always a bit squeamish about eating stuff off the bone as well. Like I like it just chopped up meat, so I don't have. So it doesn't look like.
If this was the young ones, it would cut to a scene of a fish going, "Well, I don't feel like you do, mate." That's a reference for the over fucking 80s.
Once in every lifetime.
Sorry, I'm just reading the magazine.
Oh, he's fascinated, ladies and gentlemen. We can't put it down.
I was once in the zoo and they had this fish
inside the bars on the outside.
It was in the fish section,
Right.
And like
That's your first mistake.
Yeah, but it had like I don't know what it was because literally it made me feel sick and I nearly retched and I had to run out. I just ran out the aquarium bit because I freaked out.
What, the movement of the fish or the water?
No, it had like a human skull.
Oh, it didn't. What do you
It
mean?
did.
It was a football. You were a kid.
I was too busy
You were
reading the
high.
magazine. What had a human head?
I was about 20. And it was in a tiny little tank, so it couldn't move. It's really horrible. You know, it's like one of those foreign things where you're just like, oh God, you know, well, they just really don't respect the animals. And like, it just had like a human skull, and it had like a forehead and like.
Oh, you mean the fish looked like?
Yeah, it had like the skull of like a person just stuck on a fish, and like it had like
if you
almost
went back
people
there, it'd be
features.
nothing like that.
Yeah, it's basically he went on a bus ride.
Yeah,
with all that weed, got a contact eye.
What did you have in your pockets at the time, Charles?
The fishes have the human skulls.
He spoke to me.
I'll tell you later where it was as well.
Okay, London Zoo. No, okay. Oh, is it nice? See, this would be in the extras DVD that we do.
The extras DVD for the DVD
with his bus rides and things like that. So there's a magazine. Ty's just going to help me pull it together, pull us back onto the rails.
I'm enjoying this actually. I'm just having a skim.
Stop reading it.
Somebody,
Stop reading the magazine. Apart from when we need to.
Someone high up in magazines told me it's about £300,000 worth of work that would have taken to do that in contracts. Done for nothing. Yeah, well done. Nice little good fellows. Good. I saw another bloody hairdresser the other day called Goodfellas.
Another one?
Oh, you haven't seen them?
What's the issue with, what's the issue
with? They're all named after Godfather. I've seen Codfather about 4 times. The fish shop.
Oh, Codfather. Yeah.
Goodfella. Oh, it must have been around my way.
Okay. They're always called like, I don't know, a lot of Greek dudes for some reason.
Yeah.
Like
they're always called little Greek dudes.
There was like, hey,
come get your hair a cut at a little Greek dude.
They're always trying to make it like they're traditional, but they're always like 18 years old. I think, how traditional is this?
my mate had a funny story. He said he wanted to get like, this was a long time ago. We were watching Black Hawk Down a lot.
A lot? Why would you?
I don't know. We got into it.
Yeah,
we were watching like every day for like a couple of weeks.
Were you planning to overthrow the government?
Yeah, there must have been something.
No. We just thought
he's
it was
been trained.
Yeah,
and he got like
Clockwork Orange, with your eyeballs held open.
I don't know. We sort of overdid films like that. We just kind of got into a film and then like we watched like Lethal
Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
What I think is psychosis after you watch that 50 times.
Oh, it's cool. It's a cool film.
Yeah, but it's no happy. It's a horrendous film.
Yeah. It's cool.
Oh, you just went through that stage.
Yeah, as we're watching like cool
wanted
films.
To be angry.
Yeah. So we watched it, and he wanted to get like a haircut because they had like a sort of shaved head and then like a little bit like a grade 2 or grade 1 on top. Yeah, it was like skinhead and then a little tiny bit like army cut, like severe army cut. And he said he went to the barber's to do it. And he was sort of losing his hair a bit around the back, and he goes, "Yeah, just shave it short around the back." And he's like, "Boss." And he goes, "No, just round the back, just shave it." And he goes, "Boss, there's no hair there." And he's just like, "No, just shave it around the back." He goes, "Boss, please, boss, please. There's no hair. There's no."
Just make him feel better.
He's just like, just do it. Yeah,
and then do the sound.
I think he made him do it anyway.
Yeah, he could have been like, "Wow, your hair is so thick."
That's sort of Trump-esque delusion.
Because he was like, "Well, you're going to charge me the same anyway, whether you do it or not." And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Well, then fucking do it."
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, that's delusion, isn't it?
So that's the magazine. What do you think of the magazine?
I thought it was very nice, actually.
Okay, you'd probably be doing
very
some work for it
in the
near future.
Well, I mean, I'm available. I'll be honest. I've got a bit of time on my hands at the moment.
Well, don't. Taisha might be in contact with you. So I could say you have got something.
Or we're just going to be blank.
You could be thankful for something, but I don't know if we should mention it.
I don't know. What should you be?
Something you're doing tomorrow. Yes, no, shall I mention it?
Oh, I am working tomorrow.
No.
Oh,
well, they're thankful for that.
Like, hooray, some money.
No, we won't mention it.
No, that's fine.
So
Everyone's going to be wondering. And it's
Yeah,
really not.
yeah.
well, that'll be in the
I'll
extras
tell
when we do
Giles.
get some extras.
Okay,
We have
I'll
to-
tell
you have to
Giles
pay
what
for
it
that. Is that the jumper I gave you?
It is.
It is. I knew it'd look good on him. Like, what do you think? Thankful?
it's looking
Are you
good.
Yeah, I'm in a
thankful for
grey
that?
hoodie looking.
But that looks good on you. That suits you.
Fair enough.
It's good material as well. Hang on.
Yeah, I thought it was very nice,
Feel it.
actually.
Feel that. That's good. That's good material, mate.
I mean,
It's good
I just got
material. I
touched. And then,
Oh, me too.
And then you incited.
Can a man be me? Well, man can be me.
A man
too,
can
but
be me too.
One man,
Your thing was not you being me too.
can one man me to another man?
I'm sure that is possible.
Yeah, there's no woman in it.
I
is
used to have I used to work at
Well, in fact,
Right, we've got to end. So
okay,
we'll
I
end
used to
on
work at this place. It was a race course near me a while ago. On and off because I was temping there.
At the bar?
Yeah, another bar job, a crummy bar job. And there was a lady there and she'd always grab my ass.
Yeah, I've had that loads of times.
Loads, and go, oh, you got a nice fat
Yeah.
ass there. And I'm like, yeah,
But it's true, Charles.
thanks.
What's the problem?
I'm like, yeah, I got back, I know. But like, she was a lesbian lady,
Right,
but then
yeah, that
she'd always
complicates
just
it a
like
bit.
feel up my ass like loads. And I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Maybe she thought you was a lesbian.
I was like, I'm really uncomfortable with this.
She did an adult.
I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. So yeah,
I knew-
she was my boss. She was technically the boss. So
I knew a
didn't say
lesbian.
anything.
I knew a
So
lesbian that used to come to the club called Bernie, and she'd
Right.
beat the shit out of you if you looked at her girlfriend. And she was built like a bloke. She would thump you in the mouth with a fist.
Yeah.
Bernie the
Well, I'm
lesbian.
assuming that's normally how thumping works.
Well, headbutts, you got elbows.
Yeah, but then that'd be a headbutt, wouldn't
but
it?
she,
Or an elbow?
that's what you want from a lesbian, like that Bernie.
What do you mean that's what I want from a
Like, you
lesbian?
want to know?
That's what I look for in one. Yeah.
Maybe she thought she was lesbian. Might be in early days lesbianism.
I don't know.
From behind.
The early days of lesbianism.
Well, modern lesbianism.
No, that still makes no sense.
You know, when you knew what a lesbian looked like crew top bomber jacket.
Right.
Now it's
okay.
like the norm. Everyone's normal. You can't tell.
I mean, that's definitely lost us some viewership, listenership. That has. Look at you, the modern lesbianism. Like there was a pause, and there was
but it was
the
bad.
interregnum of when it was back.
No, when they were bad. So
when they were bad.
no, when thinking badly of them was bad. Like when it was now, nobody cares.
Oh,
Back
you mean
then,
so when
they were oppressed?
when people were I mean, they're not being oppressed, but when it was, you still had to.
I had an
remain in
argument with the
closet.
gay guy, right? Because he's talking about people you admired, and I was saying about
Yeah.
gay, and he didn't even know who Harvey Milk was, and I was explaining to him, you've got no bloody right, even though you are gay, you can't say.
But
About,
that was kind of an American.
no, but the first gay politician, openly gay politician,
Was he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think certainly in America or
yeah. I mean, in
Britain,
America, I would say that.
potentially the West. I couldn't speak.
Yeah, I
for
would have
the
thought
rest of
there
Europe.
before England,
but-
definitely.
But yeah, I think we.
Yeah, but he didn't even know who it was. I thought,
It's
oh, there you
still.
are. So
I mean, it's still kind of an issue now. There are some.
Well, Leah
openly gay-
Varadkar, the I can't say it's
Who's that?
Taoiseach of Ireland.
Yes.
The Prime Minister of Ireland is Taoiseach is the actual
Yeah,
Irish
Taoiseach,
one.
yeah.
So he's openly gay.
what first politician?
No, but I'm just saying
He's
he's
the Prime-
openly
he's
gay.
the
There's
Prime
plenty.
Minister,
Of,
yeah.
there's
now
another-
though,
yeah,
but I'm
there's
talking
another.
about.
There are some cabinet. There have been some cabinet ministers.
Yeah,
here
but
and
there's
there.
also
Not in the 70s,
I don't think it
openly.
would matter. I don't think it would matter now.
I don't think it would.
I don't think in England no one would give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
But people are still slightly like Tony Blair. I remember Tony Blair waited till he was not prime minister anymore before converting to Catholicism
Yeah,
because he thought
Right, yeah,
that
well, yeah.
a Catholic prime minister would be frowned upon.
Well,
And
how
that,
long
that
was-
was that's like 10 years ago. You know,
well, Hillary Clinton wasn't she against gay marriage? So like
Yeah.
recently, it wasn't that long ago. She,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it wasn't long.
But
ago.
would Blair's thing have also been? I don't know if the I think it was the Test Act. Would that have been? Is that still in force? The Test
What's
Act
that?
is something that means you.
The
If you're a
Tesseract.
Catholic, no, let's assume it is called the Test Act. I don't know if it is, but it's basically that for a long time Catholics could not hold any kind of high office in military or government. So, for example, even
Right, yeah.
James II of England had to resign as admiral because he was a Catholic.
Right.
He was
Ah.
later deposed for being a Catholic as well.
Hell.
But he was after him. They also banned. It was basically to fuck with him.
Yeah.
It was just a fuck you to him specifically, and it was to try and make him convert. They were like, "Oh, he won't," because he was a quite successful admiral, and they just thought this will make him convert. But he just went no, and so he didn't. And then he had a child. Then when he assumed the throne, it didn't matter because I thought whatever, and he hadn't had any children. Then he did have a baby later on. Allegedly, it was swapped in. They were just like, yeah, she was pregnant and it's definitely her baby and not someone we just paid to have their baby. And then after that, they then brought in a lot. That's why Victoria became, not Victoria. That's why we ended up with a German royal family, because they couldn't find with George I, because they couldn't, for all the next heirs after Anne died were all Catholics.
Oh, so
it was like 17th along.
We invited William as well, the William of Orange.
They were there. But
literally, we were like, no, you're too Catholic, so we're going to invite this Dutch dude over.
Well, he was married to Mary, who was James's. So James was deposed by his own daughter and her husband.
Nice,
because they were
confusing.
And then Anne was the younger sister. So then after Anne, it was the George the first, who's the next. I think he was something like 17th in line.
But I mean, it's stupid. We've had a Jewish prime minister.
Disraeli.
Disraeli twice. But Disraeli was prime minister twice.
But was he? I
think he was practicing.
I don't. Yeah, because I had a feeling he was ethnically Jewish, but I thought he was, as prime minister, he was a Christian. His religion was Christianity. I thought.
Okay, well, I think in 1880, I'm not sure that people made such a distinction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Well, frankly, I don't think people make that distinction. You're always like, oh god, here we go again.
Well, I'm thankful that that's all put to bed, all that sort of silliness.
We're thankful that all racism is gone now, and we live.
Yes.
In
England. Well,
no, it's not.
I was going to say, well, not America, but it's not even here.
It's not as bad.
What's England got to be thankful for? What's going on?
No, I think we're still. Obviously, Brexit is a tough, and it's become incredibly divisive. It is. It's not It's not the thing of civil war, but it has turned brother against brother. You're having. I mean, one of my best friends voted Leave, but we can have a sense. I quite often tease him about it because obviously it's been handled so poorly, but we can just have civil conversations about it, or we just don't talk about it because we don't. We're just like doesn't define him or me as who we are.
Well, I say sod the outside world. The podcast is going. We're growing. We're now just over. So how many viewers, listeners?
Do we know how?
Give that out. I think it's like 6,000. Just tipped over 6,000.
Oh, really? That's quite good, actually. It's always more than I thought it was.
That's cool.
Are we going to say
50 countries? Yeah. I'd like to say Xin Chao again to our Vietnamese listeners. And there's maybe on because we can say hello.
Ho Chi Minh City.
There's one person listening in Gdansk in Poland. I'll say hello to him. So I might start giving some more shout. We're going to have our email address up soon. Once the website's up in early Jan, we're going to have the email address so we can contact people.
And people can send in their corrections and go, fucking hell, Joe, Disraeli was an Orthodox Joe. And, they can
we'll send those emails to Charles and he can spend a week.
We welcome
sorry, other people's bus stories.
we welcome corrections,
I want to learn.
Exactly. As much I'd always think you always have more respect for the person who holds their hand up and goes, I don't know what. I remember doing an audit. I'll just finish with this
because Karem has been moving for about a minute. He's very kinetic.
We were doing an audition. This was a while ago for a film I worked on. I was doing the casting, and the actor came in and we were talking about the character. And we were just like, oh, what do you think that B? His name was literally just B. What do you think B's like? And he said he was talking about him, and then he said, oh, and I think he's definitely seems like he's grown up in the yard. And we were all just nodding there, going, and the assistant producer just went, sorry, he's grown up in the yard. What does that mean? And I just thought, wow, I really like the fact that he just went, rather than them going, like in a very British way, he went, what does that mean? I don't know what. Wasn't no hesitation, just went, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
I've congratulated 2 people who have actually stopped me saying something. What did that mean? Or what was that word you said? That's a big thing. People don't learn. It's part of growing up and going backwards. Is you stop asking because you think,
I would say that's the thing. Don't be afraid to. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
No, you're just stupid for not asking.
Very rarely, yes.
Very rarely. Okay, we're caveating that. Very rarely.
And on that bombshell, we'll sign off. So that was Thanksgiving, and I hope you're having a lovely Thanksgiving in any country you're in.
Yeah.
And
happy Thanksgiving.
Think about focus on the things you've got to be thankful for, not the things that you are. Oh, I don't have this. I don't.
Yeah, but don't just sit on your ass. Do something. Achieve things. Don't just be thankful and sit there doing nothing.
And carefully plan out all those arguments you're going to have with your family. Yeah, so you can really hit home during those after that big lovely Thanksgiving meal.
And if you're about to get on a train or bus and Charles is there, get on a fucking different one because for some reason there's going to be some shit going down.
I'm like a moth to the insanity.
You are.
So to our background staff, to Karem and Taisha,
I'm the
thank you very
insanity
much.
flame to the moth.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.